for your smartphone connects college students to senior citizens for help with daily activities and companionship. It aims to cut down on a big problem in the elderly community, which is loneliness. Tonight I spoke to experts in a local assisted living facility, and they break down how this app would be greatly beneficial.
Right up and left. You guys are doing great. Good.
When we can make them happy and make their life enjoyable, that just makes us go home feeling like we've done our job.
At Asbury Place Assisted Living Facility in Maryville, Carla Rafferty and her team aim to make their residents happy 24/7, but it's not always easy.
The hard part is a lot of these folks have outlived their entire family.
Because of that, many senior citizens live alone or deal with senior isolation. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, in 2017, 11 million people aged 65 and older lived alone. And Carla has noticed firsthand that senior isolation can lead to depression and a lower quality of life.
Everything about enjoying life has to do with relationships.
Building relationships later in life can be tough, but that's where a new app called Papa aims to help.
Our primary focus is to reduce loneliness.
Andrew Parker created the app that allows seniors to pay college students to help with transportation, house help, technology lessons, or just companionship.
And set it down.
And it all started with his papa, who didn't need home care but was in need of assistance.
To help my grandpa, my papa, and I thought maybe I could help other papas and other grandparents out there.
The app delivers grandkids on demand and calls them Papa Pals.
Oh, I think it's a great idea. I'm shocked even now how many residents that move in with smartphones and with laptops.
Carla says this is a tool they'd love to utilize to help anyone that's feeling lonely at their facility.
And Andrew Parker says that they are limited to Florida and some other areas for the time being, but they're now partnering with Medicare to provide their service, and it will be in Tennessee pretty soon. Beth?